Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. सुनिन्छ?
सुनिन्छ सर.
सुन्नेको छ सर.
Okay, good afternoon. अब हामी आजको सेसन सुरु गरौँ र आज हामी फर्स्ट हिजो ओरिएन्टेसन क्लास तपाईले सबै लिनुभयो होला र आज हामी परराष्ट्र सेवा नायब पदको तृतीय पत्र परराष्ट्र सेवाको यो क्वेशन एन्ड आन्सरमा पहिलो क्लास आज सुरुवात हुन्छ र तपाईले पक्कै पनि हिजो ओरिएन्टेसन क्लास लिनुभयो होला जसले छुटाउनु भएको छ कृपया हाम्रो सेलेक्ट नेपालको युट्युब च्यानलमा तपाईले हेर्न सक्नुहुन्छ युट्युब च्यानलमा त्यो भिडियो सुरक्षित गरिएको छ र आजको यो सेसन पहिलो सेसन पनि हामी युट्युब च्यानलमा केही समय लाइभमा छौं र तपाईले यदि कोही पछि के छुट्नुभयो अथवा के बुझ्नु भएन भने तपाईले फेरि युट्युब च्यानलमा हेर्न सक्नुहुनेछ र आजको सेसन सुरु गरौँ सर पनि आइसक्नु भएको जोइन गरिसक्नु भएको सरले अब सरले कन्टिन्यू गर्नुहुन्छ सर नमस्कार आवाज सुनिन्छ हजुर
नमस्ते एकदम ठीक छ हजुर
प्लिज सुरु गरौँ सर
Thank you very much, Madhav sir. So, okay, welcome all of you. First of all, I would like to welcome all of you present in Zoom Live as well as those who are watching me through YouTube Live. And I would like to request all of you watching me through YouTube, join the Zoom Live, and the ID and password is present in the middle of there. So you can join logging in into that meeting ID and passcode given to you. So, and now, first of all, you see there, so as we have begun this class basing into question answer method, we directly need to move on to question answer pattern. I mean, question answer pattern mein janu parcha. Let's move on. Today, we will start from Unit 1. Unit 1 ka all the probable and all question or practice garchau. At the very beginning is there. You see there. What is the relationship? What is the relationship between international relations and diplomacy? What is the relationship between international relations and diplomacy? Briefly explain. Explain the major functions of modern diplomacy. You see there. So you can be asked this question for 3 plus 2 5 marks. Question. You see there. What is the relationship between international relations and diplomacy? Briefly explain the major functions of modern diplomacy. So when you deal with this question, you got to learn how to break down the question. Breaking down the question is very much important in dealing with diplomacy. Diplomacy la deal gardakeri kunai pani question theoretical perspective, either you write in second paper or other papers of third paper ka other paper haru huncha jun sukai pani tapai lekhanship ma dhyan dinu parne bhaneko is a technical writing, and what we focus on technical writing is a pattern of responding a question la break down garne kati wata elements छन् you see there. यसमा पहिला के भनेछ दुईवटा पार्ट आयो नि त दुईवटा क्वेशन हैन. पहिला what is international relation भन्यो. What is international कसरी ब्रेक डाउन गर्ने हेर्नुस् त. What is international relation? Shortमा define गर्ने. What is diplomacy? Shortमा define गर्ने. What is diplomacy? Shortमा. त्यस पछाडी चाहिँ relationship between यो हेर्दाखेरि फेरि तपाईले एक पेज लेख्नु पर्ने हैन नि. दुई तीन लाइन यसरी मेन्टेन गर्छौं अहिले. You see how we relate them. Relationship between IR and diplomacy. You look at that. First part finished. This पछाडी चाहिँ अब बिचमा यो दुईटा पार्टलाई जोइन गर्न के चाहियो? Hooking up paragraph अथवा hook up paragraph भन्छौं हामीले. Hook up भनेको connectivity भन्छौं हामीले. Paragraph. Hook up paragraph, short paragraph लेख्छौं बिचमा. त्यस पछाडी चाहिँ major functions of modern diplomacy. Major functions of diplomacy or modern diplomacy, and then after here you go with conclusion. Finish. यति तपाईको आन्सर भनेको शर्टमा लेख्ने. This is what you call the breakdown. यसरी हामीले कुनै पनि एलिमेन्ट नछुटोस् र question ko chronological order, coherence as well as cohesion bestows. So this is the way how we will respond there. I have already said you people yesterday, if you are interested to join these classes, do not make hurry, because even if you have just begun, तपाईले अहिलेबाट सुरु गरेर पनि सबै कन्टेन्ट र context like cover up गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ, because question answer method अथवा चाहिँ these classes are significant for यही रिजन का लागि इम्पोर्टेन्ट हो। ल हेरौँ है त, अब यो प्याटर्नमा हामीले आन्सर लेख्नु पर्यो। This particular question is going to be written in the similar pattern. What is the question there first? What is the relationship between international relations and diplomacy? Briefly explain the major functions of modern diplomacy. But now how we will respond, you see there. अब हामीले त यसलाई रेस्पोन्ड गर्नु पर्यो नि। अब यसरी यही प्याटर्नमा लेख्नु पर्यो। Now let's see how we will respond the answer. First, do understand what is there. More simply, I will give you the answer. International relation is a field of study that covers the factors and processes that affect the interactions among the state and non-state actors in the global community. To be precise, international relation is a branch of political science that studies the relationship between the states and non-states, or the recognized states of the world. It studies foreign relations, diplomacy, agreements, pacts, international law, international organization, interstate interaction, and diplomatic perspective to manage the wars and conflicts in the modern world. In that consent, it is the study of relationship between countries, including the roles of state, intergovernmental organizations, INGOs, similarly NGOs, interaction among the INGOs, as well as deals with the broadening aspect to maintain the global relations to bring global peace and security in the parallel form. So that is to say, पहिला त्यसलाई define गर्दिने, diplomacy is an art of dealing with the relationship, as well as it is intellectual art of making negotiation among the recognized states and non-state actors. टक्क डेफिनेसन लेख्दिने, कोर डेफिनेसन पहिला what is international relation भनेको छ, यसलाई यो दुईटा कुरा लेख्नु पर्यो। You see here, international relations. International relations is the study of study of foreign relations. Study of foreign relations dealing with interstate and non-state relations. International relations is the study of foreign relations dealing with interstate and non-state relations. Full stop. It is the branch of international politics. International politics, which manages the global relations in bilateral, regional, as well as multilateral level. You see, you look at what is international relation. Our second case, I am what is diplomacy. तर यो comparative question हो नि, it's a separate way ना. इसलिए हामीले bullet change गर्ने, तर कसरी लेख्ने level. यसैमा mix up गरे पनि हुन्छ. But on the other hand, diplomacy is an art and use of tactical intellect. Tactical intellect to obtain the maximized benefits and fulfill national interest. National interest. It is the route, you see there? It is the route through which a nation travels to the global community. To the global community, you see there, to the global community. हामीले दुईटैलाई introduce गर्यौं क्या first part मा हेर्नुस् त we have introduced both parts there. What is IR and what is diplomacy भनेर short मा हामीले चाहिँ के गर्यौं introduce गर्यौं. Now after this you see there, it helps to conduct international relations. अब यस पछाडी हामीलाई चाहियो hookup sentence. Hookup paragraph चाहियो. We need hookup paragraph. Look at that all of you. So पहिला हामीले introduce गर्यौं relationship के छ भनेर पहिला भन्नु भन्दा पहिला हामीलाई hookup sentence त चाहियो नि. You see there, and we have presented hookup sentence out here, and it is easier to handle now. It is much easier to handle the hookup paragraph. के हो hookup paragraph भनेको connectivity हो. जसले चाहिँ core element like define गर्छ. So that is to say, you see there, change गर्ने paragraph like international relations is a broad aspect where international relations is a broad aspect where diplomacy acts as a tool to maintain IR in global community. Just a minute, you people keep on copying this. Let me fill the marker ink there. All of you, just a minute. Okay, you see, let me rub the first paragraph now. I mean, hook up your main core paragraph. Content ko core like include gareko huncha. You see there, community. Continue there. Diplomacy is an art and practice. Diplomacy is an art and practice, of conducting, negotiations, conducting negotiations between representatives of the state, between representatives of the states. You see there, conducting negotiations between representatives of the states in maintaining international relations. International relations. IR सर्टमा पनि लेख्न सक्नुहुन्छ IR holds its expansion. IR holds its expansion and practice through diplomacy. It means diplomacy works as a vehicle to transport IR. मैले अलिकति यदि यो क्वेशन 10 मार्क्स मा सोध्यो भने कसरी लेख्ने भनेर पनि अलिकति एक्सपान्सन गर्दैछु छु. You see there. To be precise, the relationship can be understood or can be clarified in the following points. Look at that, in the following points. International relations stands as a whole, but diplomacy is particular behavior of the state, behavior of the international actor or of the state. See, second point there. Diplomacy is shaped by IR, whereas IR moves further with the help of diplomacy. धेरै पनि लेख्नु पर्दैन 5 मार्क्स को रिलेशनशिप डिफाइन गर्नलाई क्विट गरे पुग्छ. सो यु सी देयर इन दिस कन्टेक्स्ट, अब डाइभर्ट गर्ने कन्टेक्स्टलाई किन हामी फंक्सनमा जानु पर्यो नि त. इन दिस कन्टेक्स्ट डिप्लोमेसी is changing with the rise of modern globalization. And it is significant it is significant for the following functions. Directive sentence लेख्ने ठ्याक्कै बुलेटमा लेखिहाल्ने यसलाई. You see here. अब धेरै होइन 5 वटा त्यो core function लेखे पुग्यो यसलाई. ल हेर्नुस् त. How we respond the functions of diplomacy now. Easier to handle. You see, यसरी points मै लेख्दिने हो हामीले. एकदम phrase मा लेख्ने है पुरा sentence मा हैन. Essential ingredient class कहिलेदेखि start भएको हो भन्नु भएको छ आजबाटै हो है. Just started. This is the very first question that we have begun with. Hey, so let me tell all of you, those who have been watching me through YouTube. Let me check how many of you are watching me through YouTube. Okay. So how many of you are नेपालीमा हुनु सर क्लास परराष्ट्रको भन्नु भएको छ. परराष्ट्र लेख्नु नै इंग्लिशमा पर्छ. नेपालीमा चाहिँ मैले एक्सप्लेन चाहिँ गर्दिउँ तपाईलाई बुझाइदिउँला, बट इट क्यान नट बी ह्यान्डल्ड इन द. ओके, क्वेशन कता छ भन्नु भएको छ. क्वेशनमा प्रत्येक क्वेशनहरु मैले टपमै बोर्डमा लेखिदिएको हुन्छु. द क्वेशन के थियो भन्दा व्हाट इज द रिलेशनशिप बिट्विन डिप्लोमेसी एन्ड इन्टरनेशनल रिलेसन, एक्सप्लेन द फंक्शन्स अफ मोडर्न डिप्लोमेसी भन्ने क्वेशन थियो. जति जना पनि हाउ मेनी अफ यु आर वाचिङ मी थ्रु युट्युब, इफ यु आर interested to join me, तपाईले जुम सर नेपालको फेसबुक पेजबाट जुम आईडी अथवा त्यहाँ तपाईको डेस्क्रिप्सनमा लेखेको छ जुम आईडी र पासवर्ड त्यो लिएर जुममा तपाईहरु जोइन गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ. Let's see what are the major functions of diplomacy. Essential ingredient for any peaceful and efficient change. Similarly, another is there, gathers information, diplomacy ka function arun, gathers information and subsequent identification and evaluation of the receiving states of the receiving states foreign policy goals through which we can fulfill the policy goals. Similarly, and it is the function of diplomacy to project and promote national interest and objectives. Similarly, protect and secure state sovereignty and independence, independence and territorial integrity, Similarly, to enhance bilateral socioeconomic ties, you look at them. to maintain negotiation for treaty and agreement. Treaty and agreement. धेरै पनि लेख्नु पर्दैन अहिले त तपाईहरु पढिरहनु भएको छ हैन मैले म्याक्सिमम सकेसम्म सबै भनेर चाहिँ मेन्सन गर्दिएको मात्रै हो अब कन्क्लुजन ल्याइदिने you see there in international relations diplomacy in international relations diplomacy has been a paramount you see there in international relations diplomacy has been a paramount element in the upkeep of peace and creation of positive change. Changes. यति लेख्दिनुस् एउटा key sentence like conclusion बनाइदिए हुन्छ not a big deal. You see, this is the way how we respond the major questions in. So is this the regular time for the class? भन्नु भएको छ yes. तपाईहरु क्लास चाहिँ 3:15 बाटै हुन्छ है रेगुलरली चाहिँ. You see all of you. So this is the way how we handle. यसरी हामीले strategically question को answer लेख्न सक्यौं भने मात्र के हुन्छ we can get the better marks in our answer. Otherwise not. नत्र भने चाहिँ हामी answer लेख्न हामी answer चाहिँ के गर्न सक्दैनौं. We cannot be able to respond the every individual question's answer in a proper way. So हामी यसरी गर्न सक्छौं. And the last notice for all those who are watching me through YouTube, जति जनाले पनि YouTube बाट how does the class run भन्नु भएको छ. So every day भनेको 1 hour 30 minute देखि 2 hours को class हुन्छ. It will be conducted just for 15 to 20 days. यो boost up class हो. 15 देखि 20 वटा क्लासमा म सबै प्रोबेबल क्वेशन र अल क्वेशनहरु यसरी नै तपाईहरुलाई चाहिँ ह्यान्डल गराइदिने हो. सबै क्वेशनको आन्सर including all the probable questions हामी यसरी नै गर्छौं. And the last notice and for the people those who are watching me through YouTube, अब YouTube को तपाईहरुको live stream चाहिँ एकैछिनमा रोकिहाल्छ. Cannot be conducted all the classes on YouTube. So I request you, if you are interested to join these classes, please join through Zoom portal. तपाईहरुले Zoom ID र पासवर्ड लिएर यहाँ जोइन गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ. त्यहाँ description मा दिएको होला ID र पासवर्ड. Please join here. Okay, Zoom मा आउनुस् सबैजना. So now you see there. Let me ask you, how many of you are present here? म एक्चुअली तपाईलाई unmute facility दिन्छु है. ल भन्नुस् यो क्वेशन को आन्सर अब बुझ्नु भयो कि भएन? Do you understand or not? ल भन्नुस् त.
Yes sir.
Clear छ सबै जनालाई? अब एक क्वेशन will get the PDF too or note पाउनुहुन्छ है. एउटा PDF पाउनुहुन्छ तर त्यो content based note हुन्छ. आन्सरहरु चाहिँ म यस क्लासमा सबै लेख्दिन्छु. This is the way how we will relate all these procedures. We'll proceed to next question. Okay, I'm going to mute all of you. And you can proceed there. Be serious in these classes. Alikiti seriousness चाहिन्छ है तपाईहरुको. So now you boy alikiti descriptive type को थियो यो. अब कहिले के सोच्छ straight forward questions हरु सोधिन्छ. How you see it? Number 2, what is international relations? What is international relations? What is international relations? Directly सोधिन्छ. Mention any 10 scopes of IR insert. भनेपछि यो क्वेशन तपाईलाई कसरी सोधेको 1+4 गरेर सोधेको छ. इन्टरनेशनल रिलेशन्स भनेको के हो र यसका कुनै 10 वटा So scopes of international relation लेख्नुस् भन्यो. You see there. So it is the way how we respond to the questions. अब तपाईहरुले प्याटर्न जानिसक्नु भएको छ. Now, how we will relate this, you see there. Copied the question, all of you? I'm sure you have copied this. Okay. Now you see the all of you. Now how we respond this. अब यो क्वेशनलाई हामीले कसरी रेस्पोन्स गर्छौं है त. Pretty simple idea to learn what is international relations भनेको छ. अब यस्तो कमन क्वेशनलाई चाहिँ म के गर्छु थाहा छ तपाईहरुलाई पुरा आन्सर लेख्दिन नि यस्तो क्वेशनमा चाहिँ. Because once यो कमन क्वेशनलाई म हिन्ट दिन्छु र मेजर बुलेट्सहरु मात्र दिन्छु. That is the way how we will proceed. जुन कारो क्वेशन छ त्यसको कम्प्लिट आन्सर लेखिदिन्छु र यसको क्वेशनको ब्रेकडाउन गरिदिएर प्याटर्न दिएर तपाईलाई लेख्न लगाउँछु म. You see, तपाई पनि अहिले तपाई लेख्न सिक्नु भएन भने एक्जाममा कसरी लेख्नुहुन्छ? सबै कुरा घोकेर त सम्भव छैन. घोकेर गएर बिचको लाइन बिर्स्यो भने त्यही सिलिङ हुन्छ. You people know that. So that's why you look at that all of you how we will. First, अब यसको के भनेर छ हेर्नुस् त. Two bullets definition. दुईवटा बुलेटमा डेफिनेसन लेख्नुस् के को IR को. Then after you see there changing area and scope. Changing area and scope. यसलाई one paragraph मा डिफाइन गर्दिनुस्. एक paragraph हामीले changing area and scope लाई चाहिँ एक paragraph मा डिफाइन गर्ने. त्यसका पछाडी चाहिँ डाइरेक्टिभ सेन्टेन्स लेख्छौं हामीले. डाइरेक्टिभ सेन्टेन्स यहाँ भन्दा अगाडि के लेख्दै हुनुहुन्छ भन्ने कुरा. त्यस पछाडी 10 स्कोप्सहरु पोइन्ट्समा लेख्छौं र फोर्थमा कन्क्लुजन तान्दिन्छौं यो क्वेशनलाई. Pretty simple idea. ल हेर्नुस् त. One bullet definition, changing area and scope, one paragraph, directive sentences, and then after 10 scopes, you see there. Those right scopes are listing गर्दिन्छौं र कन्क्लुजन लेख्दिन्छौं लास्टमा. This is the way how we will handle this particular question. यसलाई हामीले यसरी ह्यान्डल गर्छौं. I'm sure you have copied this. So let me ask you people, those who are in the Zoom, so you can ask Mother Pandey sir about the payment query. Payment. You can ask Mother Pandey sir. Payment query भनेको. So you already तपाईहरुलाई चाहिँ लेख दिनु भएको छ सायद 2500 भनेर भन्नु भएको छ गाली कमान्डो क्लासको चाहिँ यो त तपाईहरुले कहिले नपाउने रिजनेबल प्राइसमा पाउनु भएको छ है. अब यो भोलिबाट चाहिँ जुम आइडीहरु र यो उसमा फ्रीमा चाहिँ आउँदैन क्लासहरु फेरि. मेक श्योर दैट आजै सिट बुक गरिहाल्नुस् तपाईहरुले र भोलि या पर्सिबाट एडमिसन लक हुन्छ किनभने निश्चित मान्छे मात्र राखेर पढाउने यो क्लासमा चाहिँ अब 100 जना राखेर चाहिँ सकिदैन है यो क्लासहरु ह्यान्डल गर्न. फेरि सबैको क्वेशन लिनुपर्छ. मैले पनि यो कमान्डो क्लासको उद्देश्य नै त्यही हो कि म्याक्सिमम क्वेशनहरुलाई चाहिँ अटेम्प्ट गर्न सकियोस्, तपाईको म्याक्सिमम क्वेरीजलाई डिल गर्न सकियोस्. That is what we got to deal in that. So let's proceed this question all of you. Now let's respond. I'm sure you have covered it. So अब तपाईहरुको जति पनि एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिभ प्रोसिड्युरहरु छ त्यो आजै तपाईहरुले अहिले त्यहाँ चाहिँ सेरेब नेपालमा कन्ट्याक्ट गरेर त्यो प्रोसिड्युर के हो त्यो फलो गर्दा हुन्छ तपाईहरु सबै जनाले है. You can follow that procedure there. Paid sir भन्नु भएको छ. Okay, no problem. तपाईहरु पेड गरिसक्यो. सबै पेड नै हो लगभग धेरै जना. ल हेर्नुस् अब. You see there. अब अर्को कुरा हेर्नुस् यो क्वेशनलाई कसरी रेस्पोन्ड गर्ने. पहिला अब इन्टरनेशनल रिलेसन. I paid 3,000 mistakenly. How can I get 500 return? Do ask to Mother Pandey sir नि एकचोटी है. तपाईले Mother Pandey सरलाई सोध्नु न है कल्ले हो. No idea how to respond. Ko यसरी 3000 पैसा तिर्ने any case. Okay, ल मैले फिर्ता दिने विधा दिइहाल्थे है ल कि 3000 नै हो फी एकचोटी सोध्नुस् है मलाई I have no idea is that 3000 or is that 3000 or 2500 no idea एकचोटी माधव पाण्डे सरलाई सोध्नुस् अथवा त्यहाँ इन्फर्मेसनमा हेर्नु होला उहाँहरुको एडभर्टाइजमेन्टमा है. So okay, let's proceed all of you. अब यो क्वेशन के थियो, what is international relations? It's 3000 I think भन्नु भएको छ होला 3000 नै होला don't worry है ल. So how to relate this? Now अब यो तपाईहरुले यो आईडी र पासपोर्ट चाहिँ तपाईहरुको मोबाइलमा आउँछ है भोलिबाट तपाईहरुको इनबक्समा आउँछ भोलिबाट चाहिँ. So let's define this question all of you. Let's into international relations. International relations. Come on, a branch of international politics. A branch of international politics. अथवा a branch of political science मात्रै भन्दा पनि हुन्छ. Branch of political science. Branch of political science. Is the study and practice of political relations. Political relations among the recognized states and non-state actors for international cooperation, for global cooperation and proximity at bilateral as well as multilateral level. In the changing context of 21st century international relations. In the changing context of 21st century, international relations is broad and complex in the perspective of dealing each and every issues in the modern world, ranging from interstate relations to global conflicts and the role of international organizations. दुईवटा बुलेटमा हामीले के गर्यौं इन्टरनेशनल रिलेशन्सलाई यसरी डिफाइन गर्यौं सबभन्दा पहिला. देन आफ्टर अब हामीले के देखाउनु पर्यो चेन्जिङ एरिया एन्ड स्कोप अफ आईआर देखाउनु पर्यो. आफ्टर दिस यु सी देयर see there. Now you see there, go with the changing context of IR in area and scope hookup paragraph भन्छौँ हामीले international relations. Look at that. International relations has a wider scope, and ever growing and broadening. In its ever-growing and broadening with the changing scenario of modern globalization. अझ भन्दाखेरि यो globalization is also one of the scope of IR, modern globalization. The new dynamics of IR, are expanding the area and scope, which can be noted in the following points. You see, यसरी justify गरिदिनुस् र अब 10 वटा सोर्सेसलाई लेखिदिनुस्. You see, what are the 10 scope? अब 10 वटा स्कोप भनेको छ. त्यो 10 वटा स्कोप सबै लिस्टिङ गरिदिनु हो हामीसँग. एकदम easy. International organizations. It studies about international organizations. Define गर्नु परेन है. International organizations. Similarly, international law. It is another scope or area. International law. Similarly, foreign policy of the state. That is also the study or field of international relations, foreign policy of the state. दसवटै तोक्या छ त्यस कारणले 1 2 3 भनेर राख्दा पनि भयो. No problem with that. Similarly, international economic relations. International economic relations. Similarly, globalization. That is another scope of IR. Similarly, international conflict and war. International conflicts and wars. Similarly, you see that regionalization. State sovereignty. State sovereignty deals with state sovereignty as well. Similarly, disarmament and nuclear proliferation. Disarmament and nuclear proliferation. This is also one of the issue of international relations. Finally, one more there. Human security and human rights. Human security and human rights. You see there. These are some of the sources. It includes foreign intervention, terrorism, nationalism, similarly ecological sustainability, environmental impact in the global warming, climate change. All these facets are also included within the perspective of international relations. But still, we count not all of them, but Majorly, these ideas are coined as the major fields or areas of international relation. र अर्को कुरा क्वेशनले यति मात्रै डिमान्ड गरेको छ अब कन्क्लुजन निकाल्दिनुस् कन्क्लुड गर्दिनुस् आन्सरलाई सिधै international relations and its dimensions are ever changing, and it has stood milestone in building global peace, security, and expand the horizon of global cooperation and development partnerships. Finished. Conclusion तान्दिने एउटा main bullet लाई हामीले यसरी conclude गरेर लेख्न सक्छौं. You see that, all of you. This is the way how we respond the questions in your examination. यसरी ठ्याक्कै crack out गरेर सक्रिय लेख्नुहुन्छ भने I'm sure you will be the best in dealing with each and every issues there. सबै issues लाई हामीले यसरी नै के गर्न सक्छौं, handle गर्न सक्छौं. It is a much easier concept र prior concept पनि भन्छ. तपाईले एकैपटक बुझ्नु पनि हुन्छ र हरेक क्वेशनको आन्सर कम्प्लिटली आउँछ पनि. Just copy it all of you. सबै जनाले कपी गर्नुस् राम्रोसँग पहिला. Last, right? You see the all of you. So first of all, म सबै तपाईहरुको एक-एक क्वेशनलाई चाहिँ रेस्पोन्स गर्छु. We will have interactive session for all of you people who have joined me through Zoom. जति पनि Zoom मा हुनुहुन्छ एकछिन होल्ड गर्नुस्. म चाहिँ इन्टरेक्सन गर्छु तपाईहरुसँग अहिले के प्रब्लम छ तपाईहरुको कसरी चाहिँ तपाईहरुलाई चाहिँ स्टडी गर्ने प्रिपेयर गर्ने I will deal all. And thank you very much all of you people who have joined me through YouTube and who are still watching me through YouTube. तपाईहरुले चाहिँ you can join me in the Zoom as well. I would like to congratulate in advance all of you, those who are watching me through YouTube as well as Zoom. And I have already said, अहिले Zoom मा एकछिन रहनुस् सबैजना Zoom मा जति हुनुहुन्छ. Your YouTube live is going to be end and it is the last class that you are getting on YouTube. So तपाईहरु चाहिँ if you are interested to join me for all these MOFA classes, specifically for Fisher as well as NAASU, दुईटैको लागि चाहिँ classes have been all consumed. Classes are already commenced भइसकेको छ. यो क्लासहरु तपाईहरुले चाहिँ right from today and tomorrow you can join. Hey, so now and for the for all of you people in the Zoom, अब जति जना पनि Zoom मा हुनुहुन्छ यहाँ I can see your questions on chat box as well. के भन्नु भएको छ? Sir, can you please tell me where can I find all questions? Don't worry, I will provide them. अर्को के छ? Sir, will be study the English person under this course? Definitely. त्यो 40-60 मार्क्स मात्र होइन नि, म सबै पर्सन 100 मार्क्स नै तपाईहरुलाई कभर अप गराउँछु. Don't worry for this. है ल अब so what is your expectation, how you were doing? ल जुममा तपाईहरुको के प्रब्लम छ के छ ल भन्नुस् मलाई अब this is your turn. How many of you watching me through YouTube? I mean Zoom. ल भन्नुस् तपाईहरुले पक्नुस् है त म अनम्युट फ्यासिलिटी दिन्छु पहिला ओके ल भन्नुस् अब यी दुईटा क्वेशन यदि जाँचमा आयो भने लेख्न सक्नुहुन्छ कि सक्नुहुन्न पहिला कुरा यो भन्नुस् first you tell me that
definitely we can write sir
सकिन्छ हैन यसै गरी सबै कोर्स पढायो भने म पनि सक्छु भन्ने हो आयो कि आएन भन्नुस् त अब
आयो सर
yes sir
ठीक छ ल सो त्यसो भए अब तपाईहरुको क्लास राइट फ्रम टुमोरो भोलिबाटै हाम्रो क्लास कन्टिन्यू हुन्छ है यो आजसम्म चाहिँ हामीले चाहिँ अलिकति इन्फर्मेसन पछि यो क्लासहरु रिपिट नहुने भएकोले अलि इन्फर्मेटिभ सबैको एक्सेसमा नोटिस जाओस् भनेर हामीले यो दुईटा क्लास युट्युबमा गरेका थियौं है सो राइट फ्रम टुमोरो यो क्लासेसहरु चाहिँ युट्युबमा कन्डक्ट हुँदैन अथवा तपाईहरुले चाहिँ फ्री जुममा पनि एज अ फ्री अफ कस्ट पाउनुहुन्न होला म त पढाइदिन्छु मलाई त के हुन्छ मेरो पढाउने काम हो आई डु नट नो हाउ मेनी अफ यु पीपल हैव जोइन्ड हु हैज पेड हु आर अनपेड आई डोन्ट नो एनीथिङ त्यो म्यानेजमेन्टको काम हो म्यानेजमेन्टले तपाईहरुलाई फेरि हटाइदिन्छ सो एउटा क्लास छुट्यो भने त्यो क्लास रिपिट हुँदैन है अब चाहिँ त्यसकारणले क्लास नछुटाउनु होला